I thought I would review some old papers this week I had read and bring one item out of it to the fore for this show. The looking glass technology. Now, this is a mixture of Orion and Sirius cube technology. And this is why there is black cubes located everywhere, the Mecca being the prime one. The water monument at the One World Trade Center being another place. Oops, right in your face. And other black cubes that are dotted around New York and other prevalent cities in Europe. That technology is a reptilian mind control technology, and it's based on the old golden sun disk of Mu. And yes, it's also known as a remote viewing machine that can predict the future. But if we all understood time and space properly, our science doesn't, then we too can predict the future or charter a different path. So what is the future? Everything that is in front of you. As you walk forward, you are heading into the future. Look behind you or walk backwards. It is the past. Standing still is not operating in the now either, as you are always in motion. Motion is time and space, and yet can be argued it's neither also. Try and get your head around that one. So you're always moving, you just don't perceive it that way. Now, we often hear of changes in the timelines, and many think some outside forces can manipulate it or change it, which can be done with certain technology. And on those levels, it can also be done by people whose abilities have switched on to counteract it. But a more basic level of changing the timelines is done on a daily basis when proper thinking is applied. As is the case on this planet in too many aspects, we often forget or fail to recognise our own input into changing timelines. I can hear people thinking now, what's he saying? Here we go, Thomas is telling us now we can change timelines. Oh my God, now I'll have to learn something else. Does this guy ever stop? Well, once you end your own limitation program of little me, you will realise you are more than just a label. So how does it work? Well, humanity is a creature of habit, and if you analyse your day, you will see repeat patterns. So because we repeat so many patterns in our daily life, those who are using AI capabilities, think about that, can predict with good measure the exact path you are charting at any given point of the day, and so can interject into your life path on a day-to-day basis. That's why I say think and act different. They can't handle the programming of diversity. So what do I mean by that? Well, say one particular person is creating an issue to the system and they are aware of the day-to-day patterns. They can install another person in that pattern to intervene in a certain way. That changes your timeline for their desired result. Now, the group known as the Watchers, which was covered in the Fringe series, does this far more than people realise. And yes, can often and has been used for sinister plans, resulting in people dying due to an accident, a pre-planned accident, like fridges being thrown off speeding trucks in front of Kim's car. So you get up in the morning and you do a set of tasks, and then you head out to work, often going the same route at the same time. And you may often see the same cars or the same people because they're all on the same timeline as you. But what happens if you took a different route to work? Suddenly you will not see the same cars or the same people as you went on a different path. What you've just done is you've changed the timeline. Your interaction with different people will change their timeline. Instead of walking in a straight line on the sidewalk, they may have to move across now as you are in their timeline. That small sidestep to avoid you has changed their day and their future. That person who bumped into you along the road, and when you stop and think and not turn around saying, what the fuck? That person may have been sent to change your timeline. Later that day, you may have been involved in an accident that may have ended your life or somebody else's life that is playing a role in a future timeline event. When I left the UK 17 years ago, last week, many of my circle stated their surprise I was going ahead with my migration to America. Ooh, that makes me an immigrant. Should I be thrown out? Many were surprised I left my favourite soccer club behind, more than the people. But I said this back then to them: one day you will find out there's an overbearing reason as to why I'm moving 4,500 miles away. It's not fully clear to me just yet, but there will become a time when and why this move is being made. Now, my journey, in particular to be where I am now, has been filled with timeline changes: personal, marital, location, member of a group, admin of a group, show host of a group. And many won't realise the faction show I did in 2015 changed the next timeline. Then when you think Drake and Neil were being nasty in their actions in CV, technically they were, but it actually boosted my timeline into my own show, and subsequently led to working with Kim, and now alongside her. Well, along the way, people came in and changed things. Tanath, Sunfire, Andy Simmons, Chloe, Shane, Randy, Alan and Steve from the OYM, and the support of Holly and James, who have remained since September 2013 as my admins. Just one of them not interacting could have sent me and us all on a different path. If you think Kim and I working together was an accident, you would be wrong in that thinking. That path to the current outcome all started back in September of 1991, when my wife at the time booked us to go to Florida in March 1992. That single event led us to where we are now and what we are trying to accomplish. Now, I personally have lost a lot along that journey, but ultimately I've found so much more also. You see, we are capable of so much more when we put our minds to things. We can change timelines. This may be another of those small ripples in the pond. But if everyone creates a ripple, it becomes a tsunami, does it not? And this is what I've been trying to get across. Be the change, not wait for the change. Because you never know what one change of habit can bring in the future. A change of your own timeline. That leads to a chance meeting. That may lead to a new job, a new partner, or prevent a predicted outcome of your own life. Something to ponder on.